If I had to think of something to say after watching this movie, I would say missed opportunity.
To find where she'd gone, I had to know where she'd been. Was she running from the past? Or racing back towards it?
How much did you really know her? How much did you love her?
Who was she? Who was she but not with me?
You think you want answers? Well, you don't. Where is she? Where is she?
Okay, so Reminiscence stars Hugh Jackman, who plays Nick, and Rebecca Ferguson, who plays May. And before we get into any of the negatives about this movie, because I really, really wanted to love this movie going into it. I thought the trailers were a little bit underwhelming and kind of confusing, but I kind of thought to myself, all right, the trailers aren't the best, but the movie and the concept seem kind of cool. So before we get into that negative stuff here, let's talk about the positives. Right off the bat, Rebecca Ferguson and Hugh Jackman and their characters are the best part about this movie. And that's actually saying something really good, because without those two characters, if they didn't work or if they didn't mesh well, this entire movie basically falls apart. I mean, their chemistry, their relationship in this movie has to work, and that's the one thing that ended up actually working. Another thing I thought the movie did pretty well was the direction by Lisa Coy, who not only directed the movie but also wrote the movie. Thought the direction was really good, along with the cinematography. And so while we got Hugh Jackman and Rebecca Ferguson's chemistry along with the cinematography and direction, that's sort of kind of where my praise ends. I think the most frustrating part about this movie is I feel like this story is a story that would have worked a lot better had it been a miniseries. And I don't say that because like it's some grand old story or anything, but the story is really simple. I mean, at the end of the day, it's Hugh Jackman basically trying to find where this girl is. If you've seen the trailer, he's trying to find Rebecca Ferguson and everything like that. And you kind of get the sense that he's going off the deep end and everything like that. So nothing I'm saying here is spoilers, but that's what the movie is, okay? And the movie clocks in at just under 2 hours, and that's even including credits. And it's not that the movie ever overstays or understays its welcome, but it almost feels like in a certain way nothing ever gets fleshed out enough. You don't really care about any sort of other character other than Rebecca Ferguson and Hugh Jackman's character, and that's the issue with this movie. And when it comes to kind of this detective-like story, I feel like had this been a 4-episode or a 6-episode miniseries, I feel like it could have really been drawn out into this really, honestly, like an epic story. Because with Lisa Joy, who directed and wrote this movie, she comes from that background of working on Westworld and everything. And I just feel like this story could have just totally been expanded on, and it could have been something else. Because the one cool thing about this movie is I think the world that they set up, how they're in Miami, the water is rising and everything, and just the look of the city. I mean, it has this gritty look and everything, and they don't explore too much of that. But had there been a 4 to 6 episode like miniseries about this, and it's like each episode he's getting closer and closer. I mean, where did she go? I mean, we're going into Hugh Jackman's life, and okay, why is he going off the deep end? Why is this happening to him? And each episode would have its own little take on something, and it would keep ratcheting things up until you get to like the second to last episode, and then the very last episode. I feel like something like that would have allowed this story to really, I guess, take take its time to really kind of tell itself. Because at the end of the day, like I said, it's not that the movie understays its welcome or overstays its welcome. It's like when they wrote this movie, they kind of pinned themselves into a box of, all right, we can write it this way and it'll work for a movie. And it does work for a movie, but the way this could have been so much better is had this been a TV show. And I feel like that's the missed opportunity about this movie. Whether you're seeing that this movie only made $2 million over the box office, or whether you're seeing that it's not getting a lot of good reviews, I think the reason for that is, at the end of the day, it's just a lackluster story stuck in just this under 2-hour movie, where had they expanded upon this and made a 4-episode or a 6-episode TV show, a little miniseries, it could have been so much better. And that's something that Lisa Joy was more familiar with her work on Westworld. When it comes to recommendations, I have to say no. Because while Hugh Jackman and Rebecca Ferguson have a pretty good chemistry going on in this movie, and I really like their characters, and their characters are obviously the best part about this movie, it's not enough where I can say, hey, go out and watch this. Even if you have HBO Max, I don't know if I can, I wouldn't recommend watching this movie, because it's one of those movies where you're not going to hate yourself if you watch it. I mean, it's clocks in at under 2 hours. You'll probably be fine, but you're not going to walk away with it thinking that, oh, that was a really solid movie, or, oh, I can't wait to watch that again. It's one of those movies where it's just, you're never going to talk about it again. You're going to forget about it. And it sucks because this is an idea, and just the setting alone in Miami with the water and everything rising, and just it just looks so cool. And I wanted to see more of that. And the cinematography, like I said, was great and everything. But unfortunately, I just can't recommend this movie, and it really ended up being a disappointment for me.
And I'd have plenty. I have to do this.
That machine of yours, how close can you get before the illusion's broken?
You're going on a journey. All you have to do is follow my voice.